As I mentioned in my class, right? Import pandas as PD. Generally, used to people declare as the PD only. Okay, don't panic. Like you can do that. Okay, because this is going to be going to create an object from the our pandas class, so that we are mentioning as a import as PD. Okay, pandas at PD, because we cannot use a pandas dot blah 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 blah, so many things. So that's the reason I think we have gone through some basics of of OOPS concepts, right? So in OOPS concept, we see. Let me bring that one again once again. Okay, so so here actually we have created object employee underscore one and employee underscore two, and employee emp underscore one dot email means it will start accessing the variable of the value, and then if it is going to be 1 minute. Okay, fine. Right. So if it is going to be the method, then it's going to be employee underscore one dot the method name and open bracket close bracket. If you have any parameter, you can pass through that. So I think you remember, right? The last class we have studied like parameter with parameter, without parameter. Okay, so parameterized methods and non-parameterized methods. Okay, so similar to that across all other OOPS based projects like the languages. So we supposed to use um, the class. Okay, so the method. So let's say if I'm going to use the class name, so import pandas as PD. So automatically, what are the available, the packages, methods, everything inside the pandas, right? Okay, pandas, it has been provided to copied, basically. That is nothing but inheritance. Okay, the concept of the inheritance. So the PD is inherited from the pandas of the main major library, and it's a kind of like um, um, it's a library, and we are getting all the features of the pandas into the simple variable called PD. Okay, is object, so that before you start your any Python programming, then you have the OOPS concept, like whatever it is when you're planning to use this one. So basically, you're supposed to use this one. See, where when we're using statistics, we have used SciPy stats. So then when we used to able to use the statistics dot mean and statistics median and more, something like that, right? Similar way, if you are going to use the pandas, you're supposed to use pan import pandas.pd. Okay, and here is just variable xyz underscore web day is equal to day within quotes 1 2 3 4 5 6, and visit is equal to some number and the some bonus rate. Just yeah, serious. So as I mentioned earlier slide, this is each serial. Where is my annotation? Here? Yeah. So this is going to be my, sorry, this is going to be my series 1, and this is going to be my series 2, and this is going to be my series 3. Okay. Obviously telling, see guys, actually each and every things are combined now. Next we'll move on to the actual file so that they don't have that much of complexity here. Here the basic concepts, because actually always we cannot go ahead and use that files. Okay, sometimes we might use to create take a series of the item, then we can have some item on our own, then we can merge with that, we can play around the data. So this is a series 1, and this is a series 2, and this is a series 3. So all these series combined and bringing it, I'm assigning to this one xyz underscore web. So You remember, right? All these things are nothing but um, dictionaries, data dictionaries kind of stuff, right? Dictionary, key and value. And the key and value inside this, so if you look at it in like a deeper perspective, this is nothing but dictionary, what we have discussed earlier. And this is going to be your key, and this is going to be your values. Okay, values, right? And then if even the value, this is the specific each and every item, this is going to be a list. So how many of you can relate all these things, guys? Tell me. So how many of you guys can able to relate that what we have studied so far? Because actually now we are going to jump into the big transition, so that when we are dealing all those things, you want to understand that. Okay, so anyways, this is going to be industrial perspective program, but my interest, the guy is supposed to understand exactly. So if it is going to be a 1 day workshop or 2 day workshop, means the people will come to you guys, or even I used to go for some other workshop for any other colleges or any other specific customer or sometime. We used to go through that, but in that specific workshop timeline, I'll try to feed something like the takeaway from the workshop, not just for a name shake, right? So now we got a wonderful opportunity to go through at least last 3 4 weeks we are doing this one. Okay, so try to connecting the dots. So this is a very simple serious, but internally we have so many things what we have studied. So if you know the nook and corner and the slice and dices of the specific line at the single line, you understood, you can able to understand what exactly this is arrived. So by the time you cannot confuse, if you're going to see any other sample, then or any existing application when you join the any organization as a data scientist, so that you can understand what exactly these things and this one, right? This all together is data dictionary, I would say. And individually this combination, sorry, yeah, is a data dictionary. And when it is assigned to the pandas, I can going to call it as a series, right? And internally if I go and see, this is a list because I have a square bracket. So you try to understand this kind of digesting the simple line statement, then it will be a more knowledge you can gain. That's very important. So that's the reason I'm insisting in that level. Okay. So so this is actually a simple thing. I'm giving this individual series and setting the variable called this one, and the pd dot data frame of xyz underscore web. When I'm executing the statement, what will happen? The entire series become what? As a data frame. So that's the reason I'm calling pd dot data frame of xyz underscore web. So when I'm assigning this variable, the entire series going to be a data set for me. And print df means it straight away will print the value. Now you can see this is looks like your table as well as your data frame or data set, whatever you can call out, right? So coming back to this one, see, that's what we did. So try to understand these things, because without knowing all these basic things, people are going through the high level concepts, then they want to make it out, so like creating a series out of the data frame, means they're struggling. By the time they lost it, what is the data series, what is the series, what is the series? The series is nothing but individual column, that's it, simple. Okay, so this is the code we are doing that. As I mentioned earlier, head of 2 is nothing but just extracting the 2 columns from the head. Why Shant, I want to put only the 2, can I make it as 5? Yeah, sure, you can do that. Then it will give the top head 5. What happened? Sorry, it recognized because actually I want to execute this one. This is a memory problem, right? So I want to execute the statement, then automatically because I executed the statement like a few I think last week. Okay, so because this is not recognized df df, what is df? So df is undefined, but in the previous statement only I'm assigning df is equal to pd dot data frame this one. Okay, this is nothing but a programming. Generally, if you are executing some program in C program, you have to execute and get the answers. Correct. Hmm? Now you got it. Actually, getting error is good. Always getting error is good, so that you can understand what exactly you need, then what is required. Correct. Okay, that's very important. So if you're getting the error, it's really nice. We got the df is not undefined, not very defined with not found means this 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 specific the statement is executed very long back and it's not in memory, so that it says like df not defined. So now I'm executed this one. So the uh, my environment I understood like df is one of the variable and it has this value, so that it prints this value. And same way I'm doing this one, print tile 3, then it will print the data from bottom to top, three things tile. Okay, and same way now we are going to do this merging and merging the data frames. So earlier we have merged what, series, multiple series into one data frame, and now we are going to do it what, series 1 plus 2, that is equal to data frame. Okay, the same way what I'm doing, data frame 1 plus data frame 2 is equal to data frame 3. So why we need this one? For example, you might have two different data frames, two different set of data, but you want to make it as a simple column. As I mentioned earlier, if you're going to play with the data science role, always not going to be a simple data. For example, the big data engineers, they will provide the extract of what the data what they received from various sources. It could be like structure or unstructured or semi-structured. So the big data guys usually they will do the three V's they have. Okay, the velocity and the veracity, variety of data. So they are the three concepts in the big data. So they'll to apply all the technical aspects. They'll bring out the data to play you guys. Okay, so not only for you guys, it's going to be like a data analytics team as well, and then they are passed to the after the analytical team. You need to pick it up as a data scientist. You have to pick up those things. We can apply on that, but you also should know how to fine tune that, because as I mentioned earlier, the data science, the data when they're receiving the data, when we are receiving the data, then that is going to be a very dirty data. Okay, and if it's going to be, and if you're going to be um, and if it's going to be like the data received to you guys, then that is going to be a little bit dirty, or it's going to be like, again, with respect to the big data team, and with respect to big data team, you can call it as like um, it's a dirty data, not like structured data. It's a structured one, but straight away we cannot go and analyze the data, because there are so many impurities are there. That impurity is nothing but those impurities, nothing but your um, as I mentioned earlier, this could be a missing value, or sometime it could be instead of number there might be some text, and sometime it's like there might be a different name, or else like a complete row might be a null, or sometime see here it's going to be a none, but we cannot do that. And sometimes see here as a Boston University, and here we have a LSU. It's supposed to be Louisville University or some, see, it should be a proper naming convention. So data needs to be a proper way. See here the PGSTC, but there might be a C, might be a wrong. It should be a CG or something like that. So in those case, definitely that is your job. You want to, you have to please, you have to align the data with respect to your analysis. Okay. So if it is going to be a null value, you want to change that. So I have a separate topic like the muting. Okay, immuting. So how to like purify the data. So there you can learn few techniques. Okay, not there are so many techniques are there. Then I'm planning to take a tour of a very high level technique. It's a very simple and interesting too. Not a big deal. It's a very simple. You can understand very straight away. Okay, so that you can understand this one, and the data might be running data might be changed. So all those things you can go ahead by using. Oh God. Okay. Right. So now, right. Right. So you got this serial, right? The top one, top two. Now I'm coming to want to explain a little bit more. If I want to extract only the specific column, as I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a separate column, and we are forming what as a um, series into data frame. If you want to get some data, for example, what I will do, I will insert one row here. Um, I pass this in the form of series. Okay, so I pass the series. It's a series 1, a series 2, and series 3. Then I merged everything into the data frame, and now I'm representing in the form of column, right? So try to understand this. This could be a very small thing. I don't know whether you're able to like, so you can relate with that. So the each and the row is going to be initially we are merging with that, but real time when you are getting as a file, you don't never bother about the specific statement. So as a beginners, you want to understand how this is arriving as a data frame, how this actually is going to be as a like a separate column value. This is nothing but your column value, right? And same way you can get the values of other columns as well. Okay, so a number of columns. Suppose if you want to play around with the n number of column in your it's very slow. Oh my God. So other than weekends, I'm not opening my personal laptop, so that's the reason I'm getting the trouble. Okay, so if you want to prove both statement, you want to print. Got it? So now you are getting this series in the form of list, and there is a one major difference. I don't know how many of you noticed that one. So just I'm playing using a very simple command, guys. Okay, so if you are familiar with those things, not a problem. But the guys that are they're very new to this one, it's useful for them. See here, and the complete thing is going to be a type integer. Got it? So this is an integer, and so we able to predict what type of this one. For example, if it is going to be um, okay, I don't want to do that now, so probably like it's taking time. Okay, so I thought of showing some discrete or continuous variable. Anyway, we have samples for this one. Okay, so this is the way actually we can extract the specific column from your data set. Forget about the data series just for understanding, but for in detail of data science, then we never merging this one and creating a data sets and data frame and playing with our own. No, not like that. Okay, so be clear about that. That is just for our understanding. Okay, cool. And here If I want to select the specific row, and here the combination of some row and column combination. Okay, so try to understand. I'm not going to explain this one in the code. For your understanding, you can do that. Hope you remember when you are dealing with list. List starts with and end with, right? The similar way, D1 comma 2, right? So it will extract what? The column, the row and column. Okay, so let's just for your understanding, let me try. It could be very simple, but it's very useful. Okay, so df is nothing but a variable name, and I'm going to specify row comma column. Yeah, right. Sorry about that. So this is nothing but my what's the value. So second row, I'm getting this one. So if it is going to be the one, zero throw. 1 minute should be like always going to be a. I should get this value. We have other combinations as well. I don't know. I'm not getting this one. Hmm. Right. So here it's going to be, as I mentioned here, like indexing of zero throw zero column and values. So it is going to be like the value from 1 to 4. So I'm getting one. There's a 2, 3, 4 values. Okay. So I'll probably like I'll give other examples later. So I'll stack up something here. Okay. Sometimes very small things will able not to recollect after after learning so many things. Okay. The same way you can have selecting a set of actions like, sorry, semicolon instead of semicolon, put like colon here. Okay, so you can have this one, select the rows and 3 columns, right? So it representation, so you can understand this one. So here, as I mentioned earlier, it's like a series of a series collection of series, and you can make a data frame, and you can slice and dices your data frame into 2 slice. Okay, then we should supposed to call as a slices. So how we are doing here, the same way, I'll have some sample for you guys, extracting the data. Okay, and this one, uh, this is actually different data frame, and I think as a merging we didn't execute, right? Yeah, so I'm merging one data frame with another data frame as a simple method called merge data df1 to df2. Okay, so I'm getting the new data that frame is nothing but merged one, and I'm getting this one. Okay, the same way we have the other options. We don't go with that. And it's the concatenation. Okay, so this is the best one. There are so many options are available. Better you go ahead with the concatenation. Concatenation will merge directly, right? Directly with the both the rows and columns. Sorry, the both rows into a single data set. So mostly you will end up with this kind of what is that scenario? Like you might have a number of data frame. The data set you want to combine into the one data set after removing unnecessary column for your analysis.